What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today when I talk to you about SoFi, give you a quick overview of some of the current data points and everything else that you need to know. But first, you guys must know the deal by now. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe. But with that, let's get right to it. SoFi pulled down 1.88%, and in all honesty, I was kind of expecting this. There was a lot of heavy resistance right above it, so the $7.47 as well as $7.50 brought on by options. SoFi has always struggled with that, so I think it was fair to assume today was going to be more of a consolidation day. As far as volume though, a little low, 23.29 million shares were traded, 55.2 is the average, but then again, that's kind of normal for a Friday. These are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market, so again, kind of slow, but you do see some pretty big ones, 5.6 million, 1.8, and aside from that though, based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price, majority of that, with the exception of it looks like 5, were buys. So big money is accumulating behind the scenes, but aside from that though, dark pool is very active today, 1.5 million, and then a couple more right here. After hours yesterday was very active, but aside from that, dark pool is used by shorts, so kind of transitioning to that, shorts did increase 1.49 million shares, so they definitely are asking for a world of pain, unless there is some other aspect that I'm not really aware of that is coming out that's going to disrupt the broader market. But 19.55% of the free float is being shorted. Utilization is 89.2%. Cost to borrow average is 1.43%, and cost to borrow minimum, surprisingly, you haven't seen it for around a week, being negative. So that's kind of a good thing if that does make sense. Aside from that, today there was no news. SEC filings, there was something that did come out after hours yesterday, so a Form 4. It just shows Jeremy did sell, who is the CTO, did sell 56,000 shares. It was a straight up sell, so you can see transaction code S, but based on the explanation right down there, it was planned. So it wasn't just spontaneous, this was planned in advance. So in my opinion, nothing really to worry about. A lot of people sell for various reasons, just need money, and like life is expensive nowadays. Like I'm sure everyone knows that. So definitely just being a CTO doesn't make you exempt from that. Aside from all of that fun stuff, there was no real news coming out. There was this post I saw on Twitter, and I kind of wanted to show you this. So whoever SoFi News did kind of retweet this, but ultimately it does say right here. So rule number 5, often there is no correlation between the success of a company's operations and the success of its stock over a few months or even a few years. In the long term, there is a 100% correlation between the success of the company and the success of its stock. So yes, even though SoFi has its ups and downs, you do see a lot of growth. And based on that rule 5, I completely 100% agree. Sometimes operations does not correlate with the stock price. This is why there's manipulation. But as the company does progress, makes more and more revenue, similar to what happened early stages of Tesla. Tesla had a ton of shorts, was getting manipulated. But what did Elon do? He gave shorts the middle finger, just got the damn job done, and shorts naturally left on their own accord. And right now, the short interest on Tesla, I believe, is like 2%, something like that. SoFi will get to those stages in whether it be a year from now, 2 years from now. It's all about patience. And it even says it right here at the last part. It says it pays to be patient and to own successful companies. So I know I talk a lot of stuff about day-to-day kind of stuff, like what the data points are saying, where it might be moving in the next couple of days. So take that with a grain of salt. If you do believe in SoFi bigger picture, then yeah, don't worry about it. It's going to do a lot of good things. And eventually, the actual progress of the stock price will correlate with what happens with underlying operations. So let me know your thoughts on that, or if you do disagree, what's your thoughts? And aside from that, looking at options, $2.74 million in calls being purchased versus $1.27 million in puts. Dollar value wise, a lot more money getting in on Friday versus the last several days, so that's kind of a good thing. But sentiment wise, very evenly divided, so 50-50. So 50% of all the options being done today were optimistic. And of those optimistic call options, it looks like there's a consensus for it to be over $8 by the end of next week. Then looking at puts, it is anticipated to be sub $7. So you do have kind of both extremes based on that. And with today being Friday, so March the 22nd, you can kind of see right here based on the open interest with it closing above $7 that 14,000 in open interest is going to be exercised, meaning market makers most likely on Monday are going to be buying that on the open market. So you should see a very nice spike up first thing, And yeah, that should be fairly good. Again, when I go over my video on the weekend on some expectations for this upcoming week, I'll elaborate a little bit more on that. Unfortunately, a lot of this, so the 32,000 at the 750 and then 48,000 at the 8, 37 at the 9, all of that does expire worthless. So that's kind of the downside of doing options. So make sure you guys do your own due diligence. And looking right here, so with it closing at $7.30, it is still between this S3 and this S2. Today was more of a consolidation day. So of course, going into next week, you should see essentially a nice push to this S2. So you'll want to watch for that 747 and then 750 for it to get above that. Looking on the actual chart today, like I said, was consolidation, so nothing really wrong with that. As long as it doesn't break this kind of point right here, then it should be a-okay, at least in the short term. But looking at the stochastic, you do see a nice bullish deviation, so white line above the red. And plus, aside from that, it is still very low, so that is considered oversold. And just looking right here at the momentum indicator, number of retail investors have been buying, even though institutions weren't really getting in SoFi or getting into SoFi. So let me know your thoughts. If you were one of those retail that did buy today, give yourself a shout out. Did you buy? Did you sell? Or whatever else? Hopefully everyone has a fun-packed weekend ahead of them. Definitely, I think it was a pretty successful week all in all for SoFi. Kind of broke out of that downtrend essentially that it was on. So I think it was overall a pretty good week. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.